Welcome. Come on in, tell a friend. All black everything. We back. Stock Institute. Yes. Thinker Sprite. Yes, indeed. Big dreams, many streams. Coming right back where we left off. Chapter 5, television. Tell I see your vision. Do your own research. Stock Institute. We dropping powerful information in spurts. I do not own the rights to this music. Peace to the king. Shakademus. Hey, we get right to it. And it says, why is this being done? To dumb you down, to brainwash you, to turn you into a touchy-feely adult with infantile tendencies. So you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking on your own. They don't want you to think. Think about it. Over 75% of people get all their information from the television. In fact, the only truth most people know is what they get over the television. There is an entire generation of people who did not know anything that did not come out of this tube. This tube has become the gospel, the ultimate revelation. It can make or break presidents and prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome force in this goddamn world. However, what would happen if it got to the hands of wrong people? And when the largest company in the world controls the most awesome propaganda force in the entire universe, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on the networks. The making of a fascist society. Most people think that they have a pretty good idea about what fascist society is all about. They have seen the pictures in the made-for-TV movies of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. The crowds, the frenzy, the glitter, the jackbooted troops, the huge rallies, the waving of the flags. Then there were the speeches by Hitler made to the cheering approval of enormous crowds of people who raised their arms in salute at the beckoning of their Führer. Who can forget the terrifying images of Nazi thugs breaking down windows in the Jewish ghetto, pulling frail old ladies by their hair onto the streets, the Gestapo and the SS troops using the butt end of the machine guns to beat someone up into a pulp. Then there are the other images, the death camps, and the horrified world that didn't know anything about them. The bodies, the teeth, the bones, the walking dead, and the hair, and the gold teeth, and the rings, and the ovens. The greatest generation of the 20th century went to war to defeat the greatest evil man has ever seen. 26 million Soviets died in the war, plus millions of Europeans and half a million American soldiers. Never again. That's what we all said once the war ended. Do you remember? The world would never tolerate such inhumanity again. We would never have another Hitler in our midst. Never would human rights be so flagrantly trampled on. Yes, you say never again. Are you sure about that? What if I told you we let the monster back in and you, reader, blame? Would you believe me? Now, take yourself back to the victorious U.S. troops entering back in Kabul. Think back to the war with Libya. Think back to the Operation Desert Storm. Do you remember parades of confetti, the ticker tape, troops in very expensive equipment parading on television in front of adoring masses, waving flags? Does that sound familiar? Hmm. There were millions of people throughout the United States celebrating that great victory, waving little plastic flags which were given out by the hundreds of thousands, the cheering approval of enormous crowds of people who raised their arms in salute and the beckoning of their president and the commanding general. Is it coming back now? I thought it might. Yes, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Except this time, we really kicked the butts of the stinking Arabs, didn't we? Hi, Mom, we're number one. In fact, if you think back, these celebrations were organized by television. Come to think of it, as was the scenario for the intervention, which was simply copied and pasted from the past historical events. Think back to Sudan and the Save Darfur coalition, to Kosovo and the Balkans, to Somalia, Grenada, the Falkland Islands. Television acted as a surrogate facilitator of, quote, large patriotic celebration in history. Excuse me, largest patriotic celebration in history, end quote, as they were called. As Keith Harmon Snow reports for Global Resource on February 7, 2007, in reference to Sudan, Britain-inspired conflict, first, he says, quote, first create instability and chaos that gives the appearance of Arabs fighting Africans. It's always those other people over there killing each other. Second, wage a media campaign that focuses a laser beam of public attention on the rising instability. Third, whip up public opinion and a fury among a highly manipulated Western population who will, quite literally, believe anything. Fourth, make sure the devil, this time it's the genuine, comes on horseback. This latter point underscores the tight, unwavering narrative of good versus evil. Fifth, demonize the enemy. Read dirty Arabs and their partners, Chinese oil companies and Russian arms dealers. Six, send Christian soldiers and their humanitarian armies onward. Enter, save the four. And Viola, the movement is voila, excuse me. What is it, Viola? I said Viola, voila, a movement is born. Seven, continue to chip away the power of the enemy by chipping away at their credibility. Eight, under the banners of high moral approbation and with full support of a deeply caring Western public, overthrow the malevolent forces of Islam in the Orient and instill a benevolent, peace-loving democracy government. Excuse me, pro-democracy government. Last, wipe away the sanctions no longer needed and bring much needed development to another backward country. And there you have it. Yet another civilization mission to conquer those barbaric Arab hordes and those starving, helpless, uneducated, diseased, AIDS infested tribal Africans. Amen. You see how they do it? They propagate the propaganda. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We're getting into it though. Tavistock Institute, Chapter 5. Tell lies to your vision. All black everything. We coming back. Think it's flight. Big dreams, many streams. Like and share, subscribe it. Put your thumbs up like we hitchhiking. Peace and love, yo. We coming back.